Director, Actor, Security Nigeria Limited, CEO of DGHUB Ventures. I'm also a member of the Youth Parliament of the Social Democratic Party. I'm also a volunteer with the FCT Tourism Volunteers Network, as well as the Tourism Volunteers Network. So this video is to celebrate Independence Day. Sorry, not Independence Day. Democracy Day. This video is to celebrate Democracy Day. We're talking about or trying to have a deep discussion about Democracy Day. Yeah, Democracy Day. I'm trying to mix it up. I'm getting confused between Democracy Day and Independence Day. And this talk is going to be very deep, so somehow we might be mixing up independence as well as democracy. It's going to be a long video. I'll try to do 2 live videos. The first one had audio issues. Second one, couldn't really see what happened, and then there's no video for you to see what was discussed. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do a normal video, okay, regardless of whatever manipulation is going on. So yeah, it's we're celebrating Democracy Day in Nigeria, and it calls for a deep reflection or deep thinking on as regards where we're going to, where we're coming from, and in which direction we're heading to. And we have a lot of problems in the country. Alright. Presently, it seems we are, not running a democratic government. Rather, we are running an autocratic government, or an authoritarian, or authoritative government, where we have one autocratic leader, and everybody must follow or bow down, to his principles. Case in point, all governors and major political holders, are being bullied into, the APC. You see, most of them are already, running towards the APC, and if we are to move forward in this country, that is not going to really, help any issue. There's supposed to be competition, because you're president, and you belong to the APC, doesn't mean, you have to force everybody into, the APC. You can be in APC, you can have other people in LP, PDP, SDP, APGA, YPP, you can have them give you ideas. Once you become the president of Nigeria, you're the president of the whole country. It doesn't really matter what party, And if somebody brings up a banter could be a good decision, or it could be, it could be a good suggestion. It could also be a bad suggestion, But there is the need to have an opposition, for competition's sake. Competition always, actually, when you think about it positively, brings out the best, not necessarily the worst. So right now in Nigeria, we're running, autocracy. And if we say we are practicing democracy, and today is Democracy Day, we really need to look inward, think about ourselves, and ask ourselves where we are going. We need to know where we're going. Democracy can be defined as the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And it's unfortunate that we are running a different type of government where it's not really run by the people. We all know what I mean. We have issues that we need to fix, and that will begin with, like I've been saying in my previous videos and also in my rants, we need to fix the electoral process. INEC has been, of recent, doing a very good job. They've been working on some new laws. They're even bringing artificial intelligence into the mix. It's quite good. But we need to focus. We need to focus on Clause 38. Clause 38 is the reason we had issues. Same reason we are having issues in Nigeria presently. It's because of Clause 38. Some very wise people wrote down that law, to enable, the electoral process, outsmart those who usually rig the elections. And the way they usually rig the election is, during the transfer from ward maybe to collation center, where they need to sit down and still collate again. The chua is always, done in that environment, or done in that process. And the law was made, to curb that, because once election is being done at the polls or at the ward where people are voting, at the last presidential election 2023, we're hearing, we saw the videos, LP 78, LP 79, LP 80, LP 81. LP obviously won those words, and was captured on video, and we saw that it was real, that they won it. But the beavers was refusing to upload the presidential election. So in the transfer process, that's where all this chua came in. And they took the matter to court. Peter Obi took the matter to court, and the court resorted to this same Clause 38, and they stated that since the law says electronically transfer, electronically transmit, or transfer, that clause says electronically transmit or transfer. They came back to the or transfer and said it doesn't have any electronic in it. So because there's no electronic in it, whatever was manually collated stands, which is actually wrong, because the main reason for Clause 38 was to take care of that manually transfer. So they need to fix it. INEC needs to fix it. INEC needs to change that narrative. They need to change it to from electronically transmit or transfer to electronically transmit and electronically transfer, and probably even add and electronically media and electronic media, however they want to put it in there. I think I did say something in my previous video of how it should be put, because when we have video evidence, when we have reputable media stations covering the polls, because that's what happened. LP 78, LP 79, and this makes news. I don't understand how, you know, when you take that to court, it's not even an evidence. It's very funny, because it was so clear last elections. You know, APC ran on streets. However we want to look at it, you know, they ran on streets, and if we are to get this correct, INEC needs to fix clause 38. It needs to be fixed, you know. Then once that is fixed, then we know we're going to have free and fair elections, and this is where we need to begin to fix. General salute again to fella Nikulako Kuti. I'm always having serious issues pronouncing that Nikulako. I'm sorry about that. But you know, general salute to him. I give him maximum respect. You know, the songs he sang is like he sang them yesterday. You know, we're still facing the same issues, and nothing changed. Interestingly, he even ran for, you know, the presidency at some point because he was trying to solve the issue. We're still facing those same issues from last time. And in one of his songs, he said something about, I think, the late Shehu Shagari's election, where people didn't vote, but you see a whole lot of numbers, and then the Oyibo did not say anything about it because, you know, they wanted it the same way. So this is a problem that has been there since, and we need to fix it. And the reason is because when you have leaders who buy their way into power, you can't tell them nothing. You literally cannot tell them shit, because they bought you already. You know, you sold your vote, you sold your conscience, you sold, you know, you sold everything. So whatever they're doing, you can't tell them nothing. And then we all know how this government is. You know, we've seen how they've been operating. You know, since APC came in, you know, Nigeria's been like one big evil forest. You know, we have so many issues, you know, going on, and they've taken us really backward. You know, since 2015, you know, we've been we were on the top 3 largest, you know, largest economies, fastest growing economies, you know, during the time of Dr. Billy Goodluck Jonathan. You know, that's where we were till APC came in, and then they took us totally backward, and we've not been able to fix that, you know, and we're so backward, so many reasons. Envy, hatred, jealousy, corruption, witchcraft, sorcery. You know, these are the major reasons, and this is why we're so backward. Everybody has, you know, majority, even our leaders have forgotten, you know, to focus on governance. We are having people who are hustling for only their own pockets. You know, Nigeria now, we are now former giants of Africa. We are no longer the giants of Africa. We are now former giants of Africa, or the sleeping giants of Africa. We are now also known as the Generator Republic. You know, and all of this because, you know, we have totally taken ourselves backward. You know, and we really need to fix all of this corruption. Yes, we have foreign interference, you know, just like Fela said. Yes, we do have foreign interference, but foreign interference from, you know, our colonial masters. We were colonized by the British, and there's still some kind of interference. Some deals that were made by our predecessors, and those deals have put us in trouble now because we need to have more, especially as regards trade and our mineral resources. For example, oil. Food is being sold at almost 1,000 naira now, which is totally wrong. That's due to the fact that we're importing fuel, aside to the chua that is also going on. Our raw materials, when crude oil is refined, there are lots of raw materials. Where are these raw materials? Why are they unaccounted for? Why do we have to import fuel? What percentage are we even working together? I believe we should have a level playing ground where us and our colonial masters can sit down, have an agreement 50-50. They're already here. Some of us are already intermarried. We just come up with a deal. Okay, you found these mineral resources. Since you're the people with the equipment take 50, we take 50, we manage our 50. But see, the problem in Nigeria is, even with what is going on presently and the money that is being accrued to Nigeria, corruption is also killing us. Okay, and there is nowhere in the world where there is no corruption. Corruption is everywhere. But in Nigeria, we have a very unacceptable level of decorum when it comes to corruption. It's too high. Too high to the point of, basically misappropriation of funds. Okay. Now in Nigeria, we have misappropriation of funds on a level of, in a community, they have health challenges, they have educational challenges or education challenges. Money has been budgeted to either buy equipment for school or buy equipment for hospitals. We are now facing situations where whatever was budgeted for those equipments, the whole thing is totally diverted into somebody's personal account. We're not having a situation of misappropriation of funds of, okay, this money was budgeted for equipment, but a natural tragedy occurred, like maybe flooding, and maybe NEMA doesn't have enough resources. Okay, let's take out from this place and handle this problem. That's not the level of corruption we have. We are at the level of, this is the project, this is the money for the project, the whole money for the project is gone. We need to remove ourselves from that level, because all of this is what is causing the quagmire. All of this is what is totally taking us backward. We need to focus on doing what is right. We need to focus on dealing with the issues, and we need to totally reduce corruption. Our institutions need to be stronger. It's not because of one person. That you change ground or you change the moral ethics of the game. We have to stop being corrupt. The institutions have to stand strong and stand firm. And follow what is the right thing to do, what is the right thing to do, and what should be the right thing that should be done. Third point: witchcraft, sorcery, Juju, Voodoo. In Nigeria, we're very religious people. A lot of people are going to go to the mosque today. People are going to go to church on Sunday, and after that, they will still be mixing, with traditional worship, bowing down to other gods, using charms, disturbing people. In my previous videos, you've seen me turning my neck like this. Things have gotten, to that level of, should I say, hatred, jealousy, envy, and everybody resorts to some kind of sorcery or juju to either save themselves or to protect themselves or to get more money, totally, abandoning God. And we forget that our God is a jealous God. Both Muslims and Christians. Muslims say Allah. We Christians, we follow Allah through Jesus. So, but it's the same thing. On no occasion, if you're following Allah or Jesus, are you supposed to ever, go near Juju or witchcraft or sorcery? Prophet Muhammad, in his early days, that was his major fight, in Medina. People who were, worshipping idols, sorcery and all of that. He was fighting them, So of course Muslims can't even say or come out proudly to say that they're doing witchcraft or sorcery. Same thing with Christians. And in Nigeria we're so religious, and somehow we're still doing all this kind of things, This is also a problem that, we need to stop, we need to solve, we need to repent, we need to go back to God, God is a very jealous God, and if you're not following him correctly, he can make things very hard for you, make things bad for you. And whether we like it or not, we've really gone bad, we've really gone backward, even as Nigerians. Niger and Burkina Faso are now thrashing us, If you check out my previous videos, I did an extensive video where I also gave the statistics, We are seeing so many statistics now that is not correct. And I don't know why in Nigeria we like to lie a lot. Once you lie, once you build anything on a lie, that foundation is already in a situation of what I call 0/10. Once you begin to lie, your calculation begins to be very wrong. Just recently, the president and the minister of works, they commissioned the 30-kilometer route, and due to investigative journalism, it was found out that it wasn't up to 30 kilometers. Why the lie? What is the essence? To what end? If the contractor was only able to do 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers, what's the problem? Why are we doing 2 kilometers? Why are we doing 1 kilometer? What happened? This is how we find out what the problem is and proffer solutions. But when we are lying and lying and lying and lying and lying, we really are not taking ourselves anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're all going to keep being in the same quagmire, and this country won't be able to go nowhere until we're able to stop lying, tell ourselves the truth, and be accountable for what we're doing. This problem is not only for Nigerian leaders, even the people. And sometimes I can't blame the people, anything can be used, as a weapon. The good thing about Nigerians is that we're united. The politicians will have you think otherwise, but trust me, we're united. Since 2020, with the End SARS movement, it was so obvious that we are united, and even them, when they're chopping the money, when they do their chua, you'll be so surprised that all of them are, from diverse states, diverse tribes, and they are still united in their sharing of loot or sharing of whatever goodies comes to them. So we the people also have to be wise, and we need to be able to stand strong, and be able to take hits. Because if we are to correct this mess, now in Nigeria there's no middle class. We just have rich people and poor people. If we are to correct this, make it good and favorable for everyone, we need to be able to do what's right. We need to be able to tell ourselves the truth and stand for the truth. When these politicians come with money, oh, take this, vote me. Voting should not be based on money. Voting should be, you know who is running for what position, and then you feel this person is credible and you vote this person, so that you will also be able to ask that person questions. That's another problem in Nigeria. We cannot face our leaders and ask them questions because some of us collected money from them, and we cannot tell them anything. Tell them anything to their face. We're afraid to go near them so that we don't lose the money. And that is one of the major problems. So we need to overcome that. If we don't tell ourselves the truth, in a couple of years we will hear it. So Fela cannot have sang a song how many years ago, and when you listen to the song, it's like as if we sang it yesterday. So that means we have not grown since. We need to take stock of what we're doing and then try to fix the problem. INEC, please work on clause 38 so we can have free and fair elections. Let us all try to stop or reduce corruption, and then let us all go back to God, stand strong with God, and dump any other type of smaller gods and any type of sorcery or witchcraft or witch hunting and all of that. Let's drop all of that. So many other issues, Biafra issues. I really commiserate with those who are pro-Biafra, but that's not the only problem, and that problem is also synonymous with most problems, because the same corruption that you're talking about, the same evil that is being inflicted is what is going on everywhere. And I'm a very practical person. Let's even say Biafra is divided from Nigeria now. And Biafra consists of, I think, all eastern states, right? Okay, so if we practically look at it over the years, the eastern states, let's focus on Abia, because Abia, they're doing a very good work there now. They've had 4 governors, Senator Oji Kalu, Senator Theodore Oji, and Mr. Ikpeazu. Sorry if I didn't get the name very correct. Before Dr. Alex Uti. Now, those 3 governors, Abia State was in a total mess, before Dr. Alex Uti. Now, if we are saying that Biafra is already divided, we want to divide from Nigeria, what have this set of leaders been doing? They are not from the north. They are not northerners trying to kill the southerners. These are people who are southern. These are eastern people. These are people who are from the east. They had a whole state to control, and see how it turned out. So the issue is not really dividing and trying to take up space. Even from the 2014 confab reports handled by Dr. Goodluck's government, you will understand that the resolutions from that was that Nigeria shouldn't divide, because even if we divide, all those places we want to divide to, we just make small kings in each different land, and that's really wouldn't change anything. So we need to focus. We need to kill corruption. We need to ensure that our voting system is credible, it's free and fair. We need to also create an enabling environment for everybody. Make it fair, and then we can move ahead. It's our democracy day. We need to think deep. We need to ask ourselves questions of how we can improve, and so on and so forth. Nigeria can actually be world power. Dr. Goodluck's government, him and his team, working with the coordinating Mr. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, she did an outstanding job. They did an outstanding job. We were already on our way to achieving world power. And what I mean by world power is world dominance, economies, good healthcare system, good, but they were manipulated, and there was interference from the U.S. government. So we also in Nigeria need to know how we can not sabotage each other. Each government needs to be able to have a continuity plan, because Nigeria, we need, somebody said 20 years, I don't believe we need up to 20, we just need to have a stable, uninterrupted, uninterfered system, where there is peace, the economy is booming, there's lots of food, we need to be able to achieve that. And for us to be able to achieve that, it doesn't really matter which government, whether it's APC, PDP, SDP, just like we have in America. They are world, let's give it to them, they have world power, okay? But the way they're doing their world power is quite funny. There is no need for some kind of manipulation. You don't need to, like what they did in Libya, like what they did to Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. There's some things that is not necessary. If you're a big boy, that's how you behave. You want to help people, you help people. You want to make deals, you make deals, and not necessarily, you don't need to exploit people and interfere. Okay, so in America, we have the Democrats, we have the Republicans, and whoever gets in there, whichever party gets in there, the system still continues. There is an acceptable level of decorum. Once you're an American president, once you're in government, there is still some level of decorum, some level of performance, and I believe we need to have that in Nigeria. Whether it's PDP, APC, SDP, NNPP, ADC, YPP, ABGA, there should be some level of continuity. There's too much bad belly, jealousy, envy, and hatred. Dr. Goodluck had, the government had Sure P, where they created so much opportunities for young entrepreneurs. When former General Buhari's government took over, they scrapped, some of those programs, and which is what I'm saying. Government, whoever comes in, needs to have a level of continuity, so that there will be some kind of level. So yeah, that's about it. So we need to find a way to get that. We can actually achieve that. We can get there. So we need to be coordinated. We need to be able to do the right thing and stop any type of nonsense. There should be some level. We don't need to kill anybody. We don't need to maim. We don't need to show ourselves too much. Once we all are in agreement, and we do what is right. I'm not saying I'm not a saint, but there is an accepted level, so we need to be able to get there for us to move forward. So we fix our elections, we fix the electoral process. INEC, please, clause 38. We need to be able to stop corruption. totally end it. I know it's a very big fight, but at least they shouldn't be at the level of 200k. There's budget. We have a national budget. The budget 1 billion for the healthcare industry, and then the healthcare industry or the healthcare sector of the economy or the healthcare sector of the government, we say we are going to build very good hospitals. At the end of the day, no money, nobody sees the money, nobody knows where the money is gone. No hospital, you can't even see what we're talking about. So we need to leave that level. America that is running interference, they're also corrupt. There's nobody that's not corrupt, but when you go to America, there's they're healthy. They might be having issues with healthcare, but trust me, we're not even on that level of whatever issue that they're having. We really need to improve. Then of course, witchcraft, sorcery. We're in trouble with God when you begin to do all these things. God is very jealous. He will be setting trap for you somewhere. You think that you're excelling, you're not excelling. So we need to cut that out of our lives, so that we can, we say we're very religious. Oh, we go to church and go to mosque, So we really need to, do the right thing and do what's necessary. I intended to do a live because I knew it was going to be this long, but I tried 2 times and then there were issues. So I believe that is that about that. Yeah, that's that about that. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to comment. Let me know. Let's discuss. Please watch my other videos, subscribe, like them, so that these people can pay me my money. Yeah, that's about it. It was really nice being able to chat. Watch out for more episodes on Danny quotes, and maybe Boy You and Mama Boy You. I haven't done anything on that in a while, but trust me, I would try to do something. It was really nice hanging out. 38 minutes, wow. Things we have to do for country, and things we have to do to ensure that we are playing our own part, in making sure that the country is safe and the country is, good for everyone. All right.
Now you they make me the miserable. Every time I think about you, baby, you sweet me like shit, oh. Can I forget our good memories? Every time I reminisce about you, you are the one that got my body and soul.